All right, guys, so here we are at the bottom of the accumulation range that we've been in for a while now. You guys have seen me talk about this in the last few videos. This is basically, again, what we just saw on this large frame accumulation. The same thing's playing out in this much smaller time frame of an accumulation. So now we're on an hourly chart, and these were the recent lows that we had, roughly around $22, right? So this is how I have it broken down. Essentially, this was our phase A, where we kind of had the stop of the downtrend and the change, right? The change of character, basically, into a sideways move. We enter phase B, we have our sign of strength. We get a test over here, another secondary test as a sign of weakness, minor sign of strength, right? So this is all phase B, which again is just a series of tests, testing both sides of the range to see where buyers and sellers stand. And then I believe this was our spring move. You can see we were kind of like, this is where big money tries to shake you out of your position. This was the spring move. We come outside of the channel, and then immediately we came right back in, tested the inside of the channel, and since then we kind of had this slow grind pushing higher, right? Now it's been, what I would have liked to see more was stronger volume on this move up, and for us to go straight to the top of this channel. That would have been a lot of that would have been a more meaningful sign of strength to me, especially if we broke the channel and then came back and then we consolidated on top of it. So the fact that we are still in the channel, the fact that we did this with a very little volume, it's not the end of the world, but it's not the strongest signal, right? So I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It's not the strongest signal that you want to see from an accumulation standpoint. But in this case, what it could be is the fact that, you know, supply is just pretty much dried up at this point, and there's no selling volume really. So buyers are just a little bit of moderate buying strength is basically what's just slowly pushing this stock higher, right? You can see we've been on this uptrend, so that is a sign of strength. And every time we kind of got to around this area, the middle of this channel, roughly around $25, we kept getting pushed down, right? So yesterday we finally got a break out of it. A break of that level, came back to the top of the channel and got rejected again. And today we kind of had a slow, choppy day. But it's all setting up and coiling up, I think, for an explosive move outside of the channel, which could lead us to then that consolidation and then the move up, right? So that's what I'm looking at in terms of an accumulation schematic. Now, another way that you can view this is that this is the normal way that I show you guys it, but you guys can also take a look at it just using regular fixed range volume. And you can see this blue line, this is our VPOC, right, our price of control. This is the highs, and this is the low, and it basically forms that same accumulation challenge. So you can see over here we have a couple of different touch points, right? So touch the top of the channel, the bottom of the channel, top, bottom, and so we've basically been trading in this range. And now the fact that we are now above the VPOC, the price of control, the point of control, this accumulation to me at the top of this channel is a sign of strength, and I'm fairly convinced that we're going to get the breakout soon out of this channel.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to Third Wave Trades. So you guys just saw a recap from last week's video where I was discussing this accumulation range. And as you guys can see, it played out pretty much how we thought it would, right? So essentially, we got the breakout that we wanted outside of the channel. And obviously today and yesterday, we started to get the sell-off. But even this was expected. If you go back and watch the full video from last week, then you guys will know that after you get the breakout, then you expect a test back on top of the channel. So I don't think that it's anything to get worried about, to me, it's a normal correction. It's going along with the accumulation schematic plan that we thought, right? Essentially the point is that we broke out of this accumulation channel in phase E, which is really where the uptrend starts. So now we got the pullback to test the break of the channel, right? So we got the break, we got the retest, and now I'm expecting a bounce. Now, the way that the bounce can happen can be a little bit complicated, and it could take time, right? It doesn't mean that necessarily we're going to go straight up from here and we're going to have a V-shaped recovery. It's possible, and it is one of the scenarios that I believe is playing out in Elliott wave. But there's also the possibility that we are going to get this bounce. Will come back up to the channel over here, and then basically do another sort of reaccumulation on top of this channel, on top of the channel before we really start to take off, right? So I'm going to show you guys that as quickly as I can. Try to keep this video short so you guys can, as many people as possible, can see it. I'm not sure when it'll be uploaded, but hopefully before tomorrow, tomorrow's trading day. So it could be helpful to you guys. And if it is, just do me a huge favor, guys. Just hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here. All right, so let's just get straight into it. So the first thing that we want to see now is that, all right, so this played out the way that we thought it would with the accumulation channel. We're in phase E. Phase E signals the uptrend. Once we get into the uptrend move, we're going to want to analyze this in terms of Elliott wave. But one thing I do want to show you, besides the accumulation channel that I drew, we can also use the fixed range volume, right? And it ends over here, but you guys can see that if I were to continue to draw this out, we're basically getting a test at the top of that channel, right? So anywhere within this range is where I feel comfortable that we will get this bounce, right? So again, we could come down a little bit more and then bounce. All right, so we could get a bounce anywhere within this range, in my opinion, and then push higher. And then, like I said, we could come back down one more time for another test, and then we could really take off. So really, a good point of entry would be a break of this high, right? So you come back, you could easily get rejected again, form this double top situation. But a break above this high over here would be a good entry point. But even right now, if you guys were able to get in somewhere around here, you're just coming back for a retest. It's a good position down here somewhere, I believe, to re-up on your position, right? Because essentially what it means is that this area, buyers have won this area as of right now, right? If we come back in here, which I do not see as likely, then we'll end up pushing lower if we get all the way to, if we break the channel to the bottom side. But I don't see that happening. This is not no fake out in my. This is not an up thrust fake out. This is a real solid breakout, and now we're coming back for the retest. All right, so let's take a look at the move now from an Elliott wave perspective. All right, so this is the primary count that I have, and essentially it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that makes our first wave. Now this was slightly tricky because in this situation the fifth wave is more extended than the third. Normally it's the third wave that's the extended move. But so we got the 5 wave count there, and now we're getting this correction. So analyzing this correction is the main thing we want to know is whether or not this correction is complete or if this is just the A leg of the correction, right? Because either if this is the A leg, then we're expecting another B leg and then another C leg, and that could be a bunch of different scenarios. You could have a flat scenario, you can have a zigzag scenario. A flat scenario would basically just see us kind of forming this accumulation range on top of the range that we just broke out from, whereas a zigzag would be slightly more, it would be a deeper correction and we would come a lot lower, right? So the way that I'm looking at this correction is that it is essentially complete. And the reason is, again, going back to Wyckoff, we broke out of the channel and we're getting a retest on the channel, right? So here's our channel that we broke out from, and this is where we're retesting it. If you can see the way that I have it drawn up, this is essentially, in my opinion, as of right now, it's a 3-wave move, which could be complete, right? It could be a ABC for a W, our X wave, and another ABC for another zigzag. And now there is room for one more minor push down here. But if that happens, I do expect a bounce somewhere around this 25 level. You can see that would be our 61.8% retracement level, which is usually a great place for a second wave to retrace to. And then again, keep in mind this, would be the third of our third wave move, right? So it could be very sudden, and impulsive, right? So I would expect a bounce sooner rather than later. I wouldn't be surprised if during the pre-market we start to get a run up, but it could be, again, it could just end up being this B wave move, right? And then we get one more push down, and we get something like a flat correction, right? And essentially this push up is just another fake out, right, where we get that double top situation over here. So you kind of just have to watch it. If this move starts to push up with high volume, I would, because this whole time we still haven't been getting volume. So if you start to see the volume really ramp up tomorrow or next week, then I would want to say that we are in that third wave move. If this starts to go up slowly and with a very low volume, I would be a little bit weary of the move and think that maybe, okay, we might have That might just be a B wave, and we'll get a C wave back. This whole thing would be our correction. We would take our second wave, and we would put it over here. We would put our second wave over there, and then the move would really start somewhere around here. So it could take some time. So I would just be careful. But in terms of just holding your shares is just it's nothing to be, I would say, afraid of. I'm sure like the fear mongering is going to start, and everybody's going to start saying, oh well, GameStop is over, GameStop is over, completely forgetting about this whole move that we just made, right? So yeah, basically just wanted to let you guys know I don't think that the play is over yet. I don't think this thing is going anywhere. If anything, it might just take a little bit more time, but again, the move could be starting sooner than we think. All right, I'm gonna keep it there. I'm gonna keep it pretty short today. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. Please like the video if you guys found it useful, helpful, or entertaining. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here. I will be back with more. Peace.